Imagine looking in the mirror one morning and realizing that the face staring back at you belongs to someone older than you feel inside. The lines are deeper than they were last year. The skin feels thinner, looser, like something underneath it has quietly given way. You have probably tried the creams. You have probably spent money on serums that promised miracles and delivered nothing. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you have started to wonder if this is just what aging looks like and whether there is anything real you can actually do about it. What if I told you that the answer has been sitting in your kitchen the whole time? Not in a jar, not in a clinic, but in the food you eat every single day.
Here is the truth that the beauty industry does not want you to think too hard about. Putting cream on wrinkled skin is like repainting the walls of a house whose foundation is crumbling. It might look slightly better for a moment, but nothing is actually being fixed. The real problem is happening deep beneath the surface, in a layer of skin you cannot see and no topical product can reach. Your skin has a structural framework made of proteins, specifically collagen and elastin, that hold everything in place. When that framework is strong, your skin is firm, thick, and smooth. When it starts to collapse, everything above it follows. And that is exactly what is happening right now inside your skin, whether you realize it or not. Your body has been making collagen your entire life. It built the scaffolding that kept your face looking full and lifted when you were in your 20s and 30s. But starting in your mid-20s, production began slowing down by about 1% every single year. That sounds small, but do the math. By the time you reach 60, you have lost somewhere between 30 and 40% of the collagen you once had. And the real cruelty of aging is that it is not just about making less. Your body simultaneously starts destroying the existing collagen faster than ever, driven by inflammation, sun damage, and free radicals that have accumulated over decades. You are building less and demolishing more at the exact same time. The cells responsible for making collagen are called fibroblasts, and they sit deep in the middle layer of your skin, called the dermis. Think of them as tiny construction workers inside a factory. When you are young, these workers are running at full capacity, pumping out fresh collagen around the clock. But here is what no one tells you. As you age, these fibroblasts do not just slow down because of time. They slow down because they run out of specific supplies. The raw materials they need to manufacture collagen, particular vitamins that are absolutely essential to the process, become depleted. And when those vitamins are gone, the entire production line shuts down. Not because the workers gave up, but because the shelves are empty. This is the insight that changes everything. Your skin has not forgotten how to rebuild itself. It is not broken beyond repair. The machinery is still there, waiting. The fibroblasts are still present. The genetic instructions for producing collagen are still encoded in every cell. What is missing is the signal to start, the fuel to run, the protection to preserve what is built, and the peace to let it accumulate without being torn down. And those 4 functions map perfectly onto 4 specific vitamins. Not exotic compounds, not expensive supplements. 4 vitamins that are available in any grocery store, hiding in foods you probably already eat, just not in the right amounts or the right combinations. My name is Dr. Thomas Reed, and I am going to walk you through exactly what those 4 vitamins are and how they work together to restart the collagen rebuilding process from the inside. Let us start
with vitamin C. And I want you to understand right away that this is not a general wellness conversation. This is about biochemistry. It is physically impossible for your body to make collagen without vitamin C. That is not a slight exaggeration or a marketing claim. It is a hard, documented scientific fact. When your fibroblasts begin assembling a collagen molecule, they start by linking together a chain of amino acids. That chain is called procollagen, and at that stage, it is completely useless. It is floppy and weak and cannot provide any structural support whatsoever. For it to become real, functional collagen, it needs a chemical modification called hydroxylation. And the enzyme that performs that modification cannot work without vitamin C. Without it, the enzyme is completely inactive. The procollagen falls apart inside the cell and never becomes anything at all.
You might be thinking, I eat fruit, I get vitamin C. But here is the distinction that matters. The amount of vitamin C you need to avoid a deficiency disease is tiny, around 10 milligrams a day. The amount you need to actually drive collagen synthesis at a meaningful rate is several hundred milligrams a day. A large study involving over 4,000 women found a clear and consistent relationship between vitamin C intake and skin aging. The women with higher vitamin C intake had measurably fewer wrinkles, less dryness, and noticeably more youthful skin, even after researchers accounted for age and sun exposure. The association was not subtle. It was strong and dose-dependent, meaning the more vitamin C, the better the skin. And the best sources are not what most people expect. A red bell pepper contains nearly 3 times more vitamin C than an orange. Kiwi fruit, strawberries, and broccoli are all incredibly rich sources that most people are dramatically underconsuming.
But vitamin C does not just build collagen, it protects it at the same time. Those destructive enzymes that break down your existing collagen framework are activated by free radicals and inflammation. Vitamin C, as a powerful antioxidant, neutralizes those free radicals before they can set off the chain reaction that activates the demolition crew. So you have one nutrient doing 2 completely opposite jobs simultaneously, accelerating the construction of new collagen and putting the brakes on the destruction of old collagen. And there is a third benefit that rarely gets mentioned. Vitamin C blocks the enzyme responsible for producing the dark spots and uneven pigmentation that appear on aging skin, helping restore a more even, clear, and youthful tone as collagen is being rebuilt beneath the surface. Now, let us talk about vitamin A. Because if vitamin C is the fuel that powers the production line, vitamin A is the switch that turns it on in the first place. Every fibroblast in your skin contains the genetic instructions for making collagen. The code is sitting there in the DNA, fully intact. But the cell needs a specific signal to read those instructions and actually start production. That signal comes from vitamin A, specifically from its active form called retinoic acid. When vitamin A enters a fibroblast, it is converted into retinoic acid, which travels to the cell nucleus and binds directly to receptors sitting next to the collagen genes. The moment it binds, the genes switch on and production begins. Without this signal, the factory doors stay closed, no matter how much of every other nutrient is available. This is why prescription retinoids are considered the gold standard in anti-aging skincare. They work by delivering retinoic acid directly to the fibroblasts through the skin surface.
But what most people do not realize is that when you eat vitamin A-rich foods, the same thing happens internally. The vitamin travels through your bloodstream, reaches the fibroblasts in your dermis, and delivers the exact same activation signal. The dietary route is slower, but it provides a steady, consistent signal that supports collagen production 24 hours a day, not just when you apply a cream. Vitamin A also suppresses the collagen-destroying enzymes directly. Research has shown that retinoic acid reduces the expression of the two primary enzymes responsible for collagen breakdown in human skin, again, working both sides of the equation simultaneously. You can get vitamin A from two main sources. From animal foods like egg yolks, dairy, and especially beef liver, you get pre-formed vitamin A, which the body can use immediately. From orange and yellow vegetables like sweet potatoes, carrots, butternut squash, and from dark leafy greens, you get beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A as needed. Both forms are valuable, and the smartest approach is to include both in your diet. Eggs at breakfast, a sweet potato with dinner. Even a small serving of liver once a week can provide a concentrated dose of vitamin A that keeps the fibroblasts in full activation mode. The difference in skin texture, surface smoothness, and moisture retention that comes from correcting a vitamin A deficiency can be dramatic, and many people notice it within just a few weeks of consistent intake. The third vitamin is one that does not get nearly enough credit in the skin conversation. Vitamin E is the bodyguard of your collagen, and here is why that matters more than most people understand. Every single day, ultraviolet radiation from the sun penetrates your skin and generates enormous quantities of free radicals. These are unstable, highly reactive molecules that attack whatever they touch. When they hit a collagen fiber, they break the molecular bonds holding it together. When they hit a fibroblast, they damage the cell membrane and impair its ability to do its job. And this is not a minor issue. Dermatologists estimate that up to 90% of the visible changes people blame on aging are actually caused by accumulated sun damage driven by exactly this free radical mechanism. What looks like aging is mostly decades of slow, daily destruction that was never properly defended against. Vitamin E lives inside the membranes of your skin cells, positioned precisely where the free radicals attack. When a free radical approaches, vitamin E intercepts it by donating an electron, neutralizing the threat before it can start a chain reaction of damage. And because this vitamin is embedded right in the cell membrane, it is always in exactly the right place at exactly the right moment. Beyond stopping free radicals, vitamin E also reduces the inflammatory response that activates the collagen-destroying enzymes. Research has shown that it suppresses UV-triggered enzyme activation in skin fibroblasts, meaning it prevents both the direct damage to collagen and the secondary inflammatory cascade that follows. There is also a specific form of vitamin E called tocotrienol that is 40 to 60 times more potent as an antioxidant compared to the standard form most people think about. And it has been shown in clinical research to meaningfully reduce wrinkle depth, skin roughness, and overall signs of photoaging. The best food sources of vitamin E include sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, and avocados for the standard tocopherol form. For tocotrienol specifically, rice bran oil and barley are among the richest sources available. An ounce of sunflower seeds provides nearly half of the daily recommended amount of vitamin E on its own. And here is something critical to understand about how vitamin C and E interact. When vitamin E neutralizes a free radical, it becomes temporarily inactive in the process. Vitamin C comes along and regenerates it, restoring it to full active status so it can neutralize the next free radical. These two vitamins are not just beneficial together, they are dependent on each other. Consuming them in isolation produces a fraction of the skin protection that consuming them together does, which is why a diet rich in both, rather than supplementing one or the other, is the most powerful approach. The fourth vitamin is the one most people are already deficient in, without knowing it. Vitamin D is the most overlooked piece of the skin health puzzle. And the irony is that the same sun that destroys your collagen is supposed to be your main source of it. After 60, vitamin D deficiency is widespread. Some studies estimate that up to 70% of older adults have insufficient levels. Aging skin produces less vitamin D from sunlight. Older adults spend more time indoors. And the kidneys, which convert vitamin D to its active form, become less efficient with age. The result is a quiet, pervasive deficiency that undermines the skin's ability to repair itself at the most fundamental level. Vitamin D also does something no other vitamin does. It regulates how well your fibroblasts respond to the repair signals that arrive during sleep. Growth hormone, which peaks in the first hours of deep sleep, is one of the most powerful stimulators of fibroblast activity. It tells the factory workers to work through the night, producing collagen, rebuilding elastin, replacing damaged cells. But the fibroblasts can only respond to growth hormone if they have the right receptors on their surface. And vitamin D regulates the expression of those receptors. What vitamin D actually does inside the skin is remarkable and almost completely unknown outside of research circles. It binds to receptors on the fibroblasts and directly activates genes that promote collagen production, specifically collagen types 1 and 3, which are the primary structural collagens in the dermis. But its most powerful role is calming the chronic low-grade inflammation that is silently destroying your collagen every day. After 60, immune cells in the skin become overactive, releasing inflammatory molecules even when there is no infection or injury. Those molecules activate the enzymes that demolish collagen. Vitamin D shifts the skin's immune system away from this destructive inflammatory state, turning down the demolition activity and giving newly built collagen a fighting chance to actually accumulate. When vitamin D is deficient, the growth hormone shows up at the factory door and no one answers. The overnight repair cycle that should be restoring your skin every single night is running at a fraction of its potential. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are the best dietary sources, with a single serving of wild salmon providing 400 to 600 international units. For many people over 60, a supplement of 1,000 to 4,000 international units daily may also be necessary to reach the blood levels where these benefits occur. Putting this into practice is simpler than it might seem. 2 eggs at breakfast give you vitamin A and vitamin D. A kiwi alongside them gives you vitamin C to start the day. A lunch salad with red bell pepper, dark leafy greens, sunflower seeds, and an olive oil dressing covers vitamin C, additional vitamin A from beta-carotene, and vitamin E, with the fat from the oil ensuring the fat-soluble vitamins are properly absorbed. Now here is where everything comes together. These 4 vitamins do not just work independently. They form an integrated system where each one handles a different part of the collagen life cycle. Vitamin A gives the order to start production. Vitamin C provides the fuel to build properly formed collagen molecules. Vitamin E guards the finished collagen from free radical destruction.
And vitamin D keeps the chronic inflammation under control so the demolition enzymes do not tear down what the other three vitamins just built. Remove any single one of them, and the system develops a bottleneck that limits everything else. This is precisely why single vitamin approaches produce disappointing results. And this is why the beauty industry, selling you one ingredient at a time, will never get you to where you actually want to be.
A dinner of salmon with a baked sweet potato and steamed broccoli covers vitamin D, more vitamin A, and additional vitamin C. A small handful of almonds as an evening snack adds a final dose of vitamin E right before the overnight repair window opens. This is not a complicated protocol. It is real food, eaten consistently, in combinations that let each nutrient reinforce the others.
Your skin already knows exactly how to rebuild itself. It has been doing it your entire life. It has just been running low on the specific supplies it needs to keep the process going. Every wrinkle you see is not a sign that something is broken beyond repair. It is a sign that the construction crew has been running short-staffed and underfed. Give them the right materials, consistently, every single day, and they will go back to work. The results will not appear overnight because collagen rebuilding is a slow and cumulative process. But week by week, month by month, the framework beneath your skin will grow denser, more organized, and more capable of holding everything in place. The difference between a face that ages gracefully and one that collapses under the weight of time is not luck, and it is not genetics. It is whether the fibroblasts deep inside your dermis have what they need to do their job.